Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that could make or break your publishing dreams, the book dossier. So you've written a book, or maybe you're still working on it and you're thinking about traditional publishing. Here's the thing most new authors don't realize. Publishers don't just want your manuscript. They want a complete package that proves you understand the market, your audience, and that your book is worth their investment. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to prepare a professional book dossier that will significantly increase your chances of getting accepted by a publisher. Let's dive in. First things first, what exactly is a book dossier? A book dossier, sometimes called a book proposal or submission package, is a comprehensive document that presents your book project to publishers or literary agents. Think of it as a business plan for your book. You're not just saying, here's my story, please publish it. You're making a compelling case for why this book deserves to exist in the marketplace and why they should be the ones to publish it. Now, the contents can vary slightly depending on whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction, but the core principle remains the same. You need to be professional, thorough, and persuasive. For fiction, publishers typically want to see the complete manuscript along with your proposal materials. For nonfiction, you can often pitch your book before it's finished, which actually gives you an advantage because you can tailor the final product based on publisher feedback. The dossier is your first impression. A sloppy, incomplete dossier screams amateur. A polished, well-researched dossier signals that you're a professional who takes your craft seriously. All right, let's break down what goes into a killer book dossier. I'm going to give you the essential components that almost every publisher expects to see. Component 1, the cover letter or query letter. This is your opening pitch, typically 1 page. It should include a brief hook for your book, your credentials as an author, why you're approaching this specific publisher, and what you're enclosing with the letter. Keep it professional, but let your personality shine through. Research the publisher and mention specific titles they've published that align with your work. Component 2, the synopsis. This is a 1 to 2 page summary of your entire book, including the ending. Yes, even for fiction, you need to spoil the ending in your synopsis. Publishers need to know you can actually resolve your story. Write this in present tense, third person, and focus on the main plot and character arcs. For nonfiction, this becomes your project overview, explaining what the book covers and why it matters now. Component 3, author bio. This is where you sell yourself. Include relevant credentials, publishing history if you have any, platform information like your social media following or email list, expertise in the subject matter, and any media appearances or speaking engagements. If you don't have traditional credentials, focus on what makes you uniquely qualified to tell this story. Maybe you lived the experience, or you've spent years researching the topic. Component 4, market analysis. This is absolutely critical and where many authors fall short. You need to demonstrate that you understand the market for your book. Identify 3 to 5 comparable titles, recent books published in the last 3 to 5 years that are similar to yours but not identical. Explain how your book is similar and how it's different or better. Include sales information if possible. This shows publishers there's an audience for your type of book and that you've filled a gap in the market. Component 5, target audience. Be specific about who will buy your book. Don't say everyone who likes to read. That's not helpful. Instead, identify demographics, psychographics, existing communities that would connect with your work, and potential partnerships or marketing opportunities. The more specific you are, the better. Component 6, marketing plan. Publishers want authors who will actively promote their work. Outline your platform, your social media presence, and email list size, media contacts, speaking opportunities, plans for book launch events, potential podcast appearances, and any unique promotional angles. Even if you're not a marketing expert, showing that you're willing to put in the work makes a huge difference. Beyond the core components, there are some additional materials you might need to include depending on your book type. For fiction, you'll need sample chapters. Typically, the first 3 chapters or first 50 pages. Make sure these are absolutely polished. This is where publishers decide if you can actually write. Also include a chapter outline for the entire book, giving a brief summary of what happens in each chapter. For nonfiction, you'll want a detailed chapter-by-chapter outline, usually a paragraph or two describing what each chapter will cover. Include 1 or 2 sample chapters fully written and edited. These should showcase your writing style and expertise. If your book includes any special features like interviews, case studies, exercises, or illustrations, mention those and maybe include examples. For both, consider including endorsements or testimonials if you have them. Maybe a respected author in your genre read your manuscript, or an expert in your field reviewed your proposal. These add credibility. Also, if you have any media coverage, awards, or recognition related to your writing or expertise, include a brief mention. Now let's talk about presentation, because content is only half the battle. Your dossier needs to look professional. Use a clean, readable font like Times New Roman or Arial, 11 or 12-point size. Double-space your manuscript and sample chapters. Single-space your proposal elements like the synopsis and market analysis. Use standard 1-inch margins all around. Include page numbers and a header with your last name and the project title. Create a title page with your book title, subtitle if you have one, your name, contact information including email and phone number, and word count for the manuscript. For digital submissions, which most publishers prefer these days, save everything as PDF files to preserve formatting. Name your files clearly, like last name book title query or last name book title synopsis. Create a logical folder structure if you're submitting multiple documents. For physical submissions, use a clean binder or folder. Don't get fancy with design elements unless you're in a visual field where that's expected. Print on white paper, standard letter size. Include a self-addressed stamped envelope if you want materials returned, though honestly, most communication happens digitally these days. Here's where many authors make their biggest mistake. They send their dossier to every publisher they can find. That's like throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping something sticks. It doesn't work, and it wastes everyone's time. Instead, you need to research and target publishers strategically. Start by identifying publishers who actually publish books like yours. Look at the books on your shelf in your genre. Who published them? Check acknowledgement pages where authors often thank their agents and editors. Visit bookstores and note which publishers dominate your category. Research each publisher's submission guidelines. Every publisher has specific requirements for what they want in a submission and how they want to receive it. Some want email queries only. Others want postal mail. Some accept unsolicited manuscripts. Others only work through agents. Follow their guidelines exactly. Not following submission guidelines is the fastest way to get rejected. Create a spreadsheet to track your submissions. Include the publisher name, date sent, response time they promise in their guidelines, any follow-up dates, and the outcome. This keeps you organized and prevents duplicate submissions. Consider whether you need a literary agent. For major publishing houses, you almost certainly do. They don't accept unsolicited manuscripts. But for smaller presses, independent publishers, and academic publishers, you can often submit directly. Research agents the same way you research publishers, looking for those who represent books similar to yours. Personalize each submission. Mention specific books they've published that you admire. Explain why your book is a good fit for their list. Generic, mass-produced submissions are obvious and they get rejected. Let me save you some heartache by highlighting the most common mistakes I see authors make with their dossiers. Mistake number 1. Submitting before your manuscript is ready. If you're writing fiction, finish and professionally edit your manuscript before you start querying. Publishers can tell when something is half-baked. Mistake number 2. Ignoring the competition. Saying, "There's nothing else like my book" sounds good until you realize it means publishers don't know how to market it. There should be comparable titles because that proves there's a market. Mistake number 3, overestimating your market. Saying your book will appeal to millions of readers sounds naive. Be realistic and specific about your audience. Mistake number 4, typos and grammatical errors. If your query letter has mistakes, publishers assume your manuscript does too. Proofread everything multiple times. Have someone else read it. Mistake number 5, being too pushy or too passive. Don't demand a response or follow up too aggressively, but also don't be afraid to send a polite follow-up after the response time they indicate has passed. Mistake number 6, taking rejection personally. Rejection is part of the process. Some of the most successful books were rejected dozens of times. Learn from feedback when it's offered, but don't let rejection stop you. Mistake number 7, submitting to publishers that are a bad fit. Research saves everyone time. A romance publisher doesn't want your thriller. A Christian publisher doesn't want your erotica. All right, let's wrap this up with some final thoughts and action steps. Preparing a book dossier takes time and effort, but it's absolutely worth it. This is your chance to present your work in the best possible light and to demonstrate that you're not just a writer, but a professional author who understands the business side of publishing. Here's your action plan. Start by researching publishers and agents in your genre. Read recently published books similar to yours and note who published them. Gather your materials and make sure your manuscript is as polished as possible. Write your synopsis, author bio, and market analysis. Don't rush this. Take time to make each component strong. Create your comparison titles list with recent relevant books. Draft your query letter and personalize it for each publisher. Organize everything professionally and follow submission guidelines exactly for each publisher. Track your submissions and be patient. Publishing moves slowly. Remember, rejection is not failure. Every successful author has faced rejection. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Stephen King's first novel was rejected 30 times. What matters is persistence, professionalism, and continuous improvement. One last piece of advice. While you're querying, keep writing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Work on your next project. Build your platform. Engage with your community. The best thing you can do to increase your chances with publishers is to show that you're committed to a long-term writing career, not just one book. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on writing and publishing. Drop a comment below and let me know. Are you currently working on a book dossier? What's been your biggest challenge in the submission process? I read every comment and I love hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, your book deserves to be published, but it needs the right package to get there. Now go create that killer dossier and get your work out into the world. I'll see you in the next video.